Hello everyone and welcome to the map Ghost River. Kicking things off today, this highlight best of 3 series of professional StarCraft 2. Joining me here in the upper left corner of the map, the blue Terran SCVs, it is Cure. And their red Terran opponent, the challenger here, the monster occupying the upper right field, it is Maru. Cure, Maru. TvT, I know, but I cannot resist a TvT between these two. I've seen such good ones over the years. These two have been fighting and facing off for quite some time at this point. I do sincerely hope they're fast friends, because yikes, the amount of gameplay, the amount of showdowns, the amount of grand finals, even just best of 7 finals showdown between these two. Things looking, I'll say, fine, normal, reasonable. I don't really expect a whole lot of madness, not even a high five. Cure intentionally going around, going to the other side of the street just to avoid Maru's SCV. Now see, that tells me that Maru's SCV's a little violent, okay, little bloodthirsty perhaps. Both just occupying that low ground space. Cure actually says, I don't care. I'm gonna make my factory, I'll get the command center in a bit. Irrelevant. Maru able to slap down that command center, no problem. We'll get it started eventually. Reaper on the way now. Did Cure go for the Reaper? He did. Okay, Cure getting out that initial Reaper. We'll be able to have a little bit of defense maybe, but nobody's really doing anything that absurd at this point. The most absurd thing is Cure's real lack of command center. He's going to start it here very shortly. About halfway behind, though, of course, Maru prioritizing the command center over the factory. The trade-off is there. Cure's factory's done. The Hellions on the way. So we might see tech come a little bit quicker, a little bit more for Cure. And that could play, of course, into a strategy. Have maybe your tanks get out slightly quicker. You get a little bit more of those key army units. 'Cause TvT, yes, of course, both players can build Marines, but they don't usually have TvT just Marine. It'd have to be pretty quick for that to happen. Reapers, not too sure what they're actually going to do here. Cure, he might. Now, the Hellion's going to have a really hard time getting up this employee entrance. Yeah, that's not going to go well. The Reaper picked off. Maru holding down the defense. That side door, screen door, porch entrance, nope, not at all. Outside of, I think, a proxy, maybe one of the games of the series, I wouldn't expect either one to do something quite insane. I'd love to see a little bit of a longer battle cruiser match, maybe, perhaps. Raven BC, but that's me just talking, I don't know. Tech Labs coming online for both of the production structures for Cure. Going Raven tank on the other side. Maru deciding to delay it, actually, and thinking about a Viking. Not going to find a whole lot there. Maru sends his Reaper into the main base. Not really finding any damage, though. Cure defense looking fine. 0 worker kills, actually. They both just deciding, you know what, I no longer like Reapers. We're past the 4-minute mark. Reapers not allowed to be in the army composition. So there they go then. Now, a little bit of a deviation here. Cure has been focusing on Ravens so far. Maru is going to catch up, but he's going to be, you know, roughly 2 Ravens and an interference matrix behind. Maru deciding to go for a little bit of aggression here. Play is the drop. Cyclones. 1, 2 SCVs. And that's probably it, because, you know, presence of a siege tank in siege mode really does quite shut down some of those simple shenanigan plays. The Cyclones, look at it. Battered, beaten, injured. One of them's looking orange. Okay, not too good. Interference completes for Cure, who's gonna, looks like, stop at 2 Ravens. Okay. Start getting a bit of Vikings out. Possible air control. Air forces, of course, one of the key ingredients for TvT, because you control the air, means you can further control the ground via Liberators. Siege tanks are a very key part, so if you have a way to shut down the siege tanks, or even just maybe provide vision for your tanks with said air forces, things can go a lot more smoothly, a lot better off for you. A lot of add-on swapping going around here. Starport's gonna sit on the reactors respectively, just start cranking out Vikings. Cure's still sitting on the 111 production. Maru adding on additional barracks. He's got that 3rd CC. Does Cure have a 3rd yet? No. Okay. So Cure is amping up, I think, for the attack. Maybe not wanting to take a 3rd, not wanting to take that expansion, go into anything later. He's got pretty decently high energy Ravens here. The Viking count is in favor by a factor of 4 to 2, so, you know, heavily, obviously, favored. A couple more just came off the line, too. They can get over here, provide a bit of meaningful support. The siege tank count, also, likewise, 4 to 2. Only 3 here right now, though. Now, these air units can provide vision, and I'm pretty sure the tanks, they are in range. Oh my gosh. Well, that's going to put a bit of a timer on Maru's defense here. The production structure's in danger. That bunker at the front, decorative at best. Okay. But this is also giving Maru a little bit of time to pull some forces together on the other side. Ravens actually went across to do a little bit of harassment. Despite having interference matrix, they're not going to be present for the defense. 8 SCVs falling, though. That's rather worthwhile, I would say. Check back on the attack. The scan wars have begun. Siege tanks still shelling the production. Couple SCVs keeping that from burning, at least. Holy moly. Maru 6, 13 kills, 19 dead SCVs on the other side. If Maru can hold this, then I think Maru's gonna be in a solid position. The question is that big if, of course. Can Maru actually hold it? 4 siege tanks now shelling this high ground. 1 barracks is going to explode. The factory's in danger too. Oh god, losing the factory. You cannot lose this factory. Siege tank production. I mean, the air units are a bit of a trouble too. What's going on over here? Maru just sends the Vikings across. You can't feasibly land them to fight against Marine tank here. Bit of a rotation. Interference goes out. Stim across the board. Boys will be pulled. The Vikings land on deck to help out because the siege tanks are no threat now. And with the siege tank shut down, oh my gosh, it's a slaughter. Cure taking out just as many SCVs, but far quicker. Maru's Vikings do come home. They'll be able to secure air control, but the age-old at what cost? The Ravens come back and leave just as quickly, too. But Maru unable to clean up this attack in its entirety. And I'm pretty sure the natural orbital, yeah, the orbital is in range of the tanks, so that's not healthy, we'll say. Not looking great. Where is our Liberator at this point? Maru? Cure has no Vikings here. 1 Liberator would shut this down. Oh, he's trying. He's trying to get a Liberator, recognizing that, but also Cure's got Vikings coming now. This is not a good spot to be in. This orbital is getting red. Okay, repairs going out. But Maru's gonna save it for now. Siege tank on the far right, highly unfortunate. With the landed Viking, this isn't the heart of the swarm cinematic, Maru. That's not an ultralist. That's 6 siege tanks. Oh god, the shelling now. That orbital. If the orbital falls, you might as well just write this off. Oh, a little bit of damage over on the other side. 3rd base will be caught, will be denied, perhaps. A little bit of damage. The natural And there it goes. Natural orbital destroyed, production in flames. Army units not looking great either. Air control goes to Cure's one Viking. The carpet bomb of Marines from the left side. A last-ditch effort is not going to go well at all. Cure taking map number 1. Map number 2 in the series shall be Site Delta. They switched colors. Okay, good. Keep that in mind. The red player here in the upper left corner, it is Cure. Red Cure. Remember, the blue Terran now here, the bottom right, SCV's belonging to Maru. And wait for it. Okay. Hang on. Let him get the second SCV here before we continue. And here, in the middle of the map, just slightly to the left of the middle of the map, it is Maru's barracks. Proxy 2 Rex. I told you, it's not surprising to see it at least once in the series. I'm a little surprised it's a game 2 poll versus a game 1 poll, but Maru's gonna try it. The Gambit here. Do or die, perhaps. 2 Rex. It isn't terribly all in, but it's certainly tells a bit of a story, doesn't it? Aggression on the menu. Vengeance in mind for that treacherous map number 1. How dare Maru, how dare Cure show up at the doorstep of Maru with all these siege tanks and so much confidence? Doesn't he know who he is? I mean, seriously. Completely ignore the fact that there was no Liberator for way too long there. No, Reapers will come out. Does he pool them? Does he wait? Looks like at least 3. The Reapers, if you will. On the other side, there's been no scout either, right? No, 0 scout. Cure just checking around, looking at the third base location, because this is a very common proxy spot, because you have the employee entrance right there. Not going to be the case, though. Maru just waltzes right up the natural with those jetpacks and immediately loses a Reaper. Oh my gosh. That's unexpected. Well, the command center is canceled, so that's at least helpful. Maru was likely going to just start taking shots at it. A few defenses would have had to be pulled, but not the case. Cure's just going to restart that on the high ground, which I love. I love this decision, honestly. Just don't even fool with it. Don't give them the benefit of seeing you cancel it either. No taking shots at it, no defense. And that's actually going to be it. Maru's going to make an additional Reaper just to end at 4. And then send one of the barracks to scout. Will the other one be flown back home? Air Maru? No? Okay. Well, the Marines should have no trouble, really, deflecting this floating barracks. The Reapers could get a little bit of high ground vision here. Do a little bit of damage. Scratch the paint on this supply depot, at least. Does he rush it? I have to zoom in here just to get a little bit shown. Cure really wants to repair that depot. Pulled a few SCVs. We'll be able to secure the repairs, well, most of the repairs. What are you just leaving it at like 80%? What are you, so efficient, so tight on money right now that you can't afford to completely polish? Like vacuuming 2/3 of the room and saying, all right, I'm good, I'm done. She looked at you like, no, finish the damn room. You're like, ugh, fine. All right, okay. But Cure does it. Cure only cleans up 80% of the depot, really? That's not fair. Okay, well, Cure gonna load up a few forces in a medevac here. Should be able to get the jump on this flying barracks. I'm not sure Cure will actually see it. The flight point, the flight path, excuse me, it's not, oh, Oh, no, he adjusted. He changed. He's going to see that. And, of course, Maru's going to see that, too. And see, okay. Medevac incoming. There is a Cyclone here for the defense. Factory was made at home with a reactor, too. So, double Cyclone, even, for Twister, Tornado, Double Trouble. I don't know. Two tornadoes. Two NATOs. There we go. We got there. Gonna drop into the natural, pick off one SCV immediately, pick back up, try to head home. Maru gonna go with the chase though, not gonna have much luck. Q taking a separate path, divergent course there. Oh, course correction. Seeing the medevac now. I don't think Maru's gonna hunt it down. Maru might actually just go for his own damage, yeah. That is what it's looking like. Interference Matrix once again on the way for them both. Was Maru's damage worth it, though? Gosh, it doesn't feel like it at this point. Only one SCV lost on Cure's side. Things looking pretty good. Oh, and seeing the defenses in place, Maru not wanting to risk it, perhaps. Not going to do a whole lot here. Cure's third CC is about to finish up. Maru, well, already done actually. A bit ahead. On the third CC factor, at least. It's not over yet, though. It still could be either one's game, because TvT, I mean, the engagements matter a lot. Once you start getting the tank numbers, the Viking numbers, then have the scales can balance and tilt, favor. You know how it goes. I swear I just saw Stim get canceled on somebody's side. I think it was Cure. Yeah, Maru just starting up Stim. Oh, now Cure starting up Stim. Wanting to prioritize another siege tank, it would look like. Third CC, lifting up, going over to its location. Double eBay on the way. They both have their NG base, so they'll be going up to 1-1, getting the Stim. Interference, I believe, is completed for them both. Yeah, so they're Ravens, 2 of them each, respectively. I also like that decision. Know your limitations. Why get 4 when I can just have 2 and a couple of extra siege tanks, maybe? Oh, Cure, hungry for battle, it seems. Well before any of these upgrades are ready. I'm intrigued to see where this is gonna go, then. Well, Maru's gonna land the third. Get a few forces out here. Setting up the siege tanks would be ideal. Perhaps. Nobody's gonna have the command center says, I'm out of here. Absolutely not. Reapers move in, make their move, will show themselves. Viking going to start to terrorize the floating command center. Cyclone helping out. Look at me, guys, I'm helping. Defenses on the high ground. Maru's got a lot of clones. The Clone Wars, Maru thinks this is. Bringing Cyclones to a siege tank battle, not usually an ideal choice. Air control looking once again in favor of Cure. Maru's only got the Ravens, and he's bringing on medevacs, actually 0 Vikings. Will it pay off? What are the rest of our forces looking like? No, it's... Maru's going to have to make some serious work with these Cyclones, I think, because that's the advantage. Oh, okay. Siege tank actually able to unsiege, able to pull back a little bit. Interference, the boys will be pulled, sent to the front lines. Decent anti-armor missile, shut down the Cure's tanks though. And that's still a lot of Marines left over for Maru. Gonna wipe the floor with this attack at the cost of 23 SCVs though. Feels a little similar, but this time Maru hasn't gotten the damage from map number 1. If he can swing and hit right now before Cure's army's back up and running, this could be a good opportunity. Look at the army supply. Yeah, Maru's down like 20 plus workers, but he's up nearly 30 army supply. Could make something work here. Cure's got 1 tank set up for the defense, and that is not going to be nearly enough. The Ravens picked off as well, so no more turrets, no more interference. Boys pulled for Cure's side, and the Marine Wars go heavily in favor of Maru, punching back, biting at the right time there. Maru's going to even it up 1-1, which means we're on to a grand finale. The grand finale will be played out on the map Alcyone. The blue Terran here, Maru will occupy the upper right corner. Nothing unusual. All the SCVs still in the base. Okay, safe to do an intro. Cure, likewise, shall occupy the bottom left. Red SCV still, they kept their colors from map number 2 at least. There we go. What is in store? We've been speeding through this best of 3, I will say. I wasn't quite expecting maybe the mid-game showdown that we've seen from these first 2 maps. They really got up to their Ravens and just a few Vikings and nothing else. They're like, I don't even want to fool with the late game. I just want to see who can best the other with just a couple of siege tanks. Make it not quite a micro battle, because you know we have more than 4 units and less frustration for sure. But it's the point, it's the premise. Second command center on the way for Maru, a fair bit quicker, reminiscent of map number 1 perhaps. Delaying the factory, prioritizing that economy. Cure gets that first Reaper and goes for reactor. Okay. Marine follow-up for Maru. Maroon? No. We can't make that one work. No hope for that one. I'll just abandon it. Second command center now on the way for Cure, so we'll be at least going for a 2-base play in this match. Hellion getting up here a little bit quicker. I'm keen to see if there's any deviation. I wouldn't expect a whole lot. Double Reaper. At this point, double Reaper. I mean, yeah, Cure will have, you know, 3 Reapers. I think 3 Reapers is an excellent idea, excellent composition for this early on. Couple Hellions. We going back to the Reaper Hellion of the days of old, you know, like a couple months ago. Cyclones really shut that down at this point. Without needing the tech lab, we get the Cyclone out a little bit quicker, so really does help out. But he's gonna try it. 3 Reapers, 2 Hellions. That sounds very familiar for those of you that have been playing TvT for a long time now. I'm intrigued. I'm waiting. Impress me, Cure. Cyclone will hold the natural. Marines will hold the high ground. Get a bit of damage done, picking off 1 Reaper immediately before any damage can be done. Oh, 1 SCV. Well, Marines learn what it's like to be an air unit. We'll get the 2nd Reaper, 3rd Reaper quickly behind. 3 SCVs fell. The Cyclone held the natural pristinely. No damage done at all. The Hellions just backed off. Cure didn't want to throw away the Hellions, I think. At this point, the Reapers, you know, they're really not going to be very useful, other than maybe like a sneak attack or a backstab, perhaps. Drops going out here. Cyclone Marine. Double Cyclone. Maru liking the double Cyclone drops today, huh? Okay. They haven't gotten, I would say, terrible damage yet, but the opportunity's there. There's no siege tank out for Cure at this time. The tech lab got put with the starport for interference matrix. Cyclone, drop, pick up micro, going decently. We'll be picking up those injured ones, heading home, just a little bit of damage. And the Reaper, heading into the main base to quickly throw away its life, while Cure drops the other side, gets already more damage done. Cure ahead by 2 workers, 4 workers now. Oh my gosh. Game over, guys. Siege tank set up for the defense. The main base will be held. And truth be told, Cure's just helping Maru be less in the red for all these workers up here. They were all on the minerals for a second there. Looked like 20 of 16. Gosh. You know, you can't let it ever go above red, right? Gold League players. Mm-hmm. 3rd CC on the way. Oh, wow. Quite different there. Maru's completely finished. Orbital starting up. Cure just starting it now. Extra production for them both. Extra barracks are the choice. Cure definitely been getting a little bit more damage done with these initial attacks. 6 SCVs have fallen for the Blue Terran. Cure not too sure. Let's go home, Cure. You don't have to be here. You don't have to get more damage done. Just focus on your composition, get those upgrades, up the tank count a fair bit here. Cure says, no, I have to be constantly doing damage. Two Marines and a Cyclone. The scan goes out. Do we have a return? No return scan. Cure. The dynamic of TvT, as you know, the scan wars. Very important piece of the puzzle. You must return scan anytime you are scanned. You're like, I don't need to scan. I don't want to scan. It's not about what you want, Timmy. It's about the principle. Okay. You have to return scan to show you are not weak in the TvT. It's like maintaining eye contact in some sort of, I don't know, aggressive jock stare down, I suppose. I'm not familiar. I always looked away. I could never maintain eye contact. That's okay. I don't mind admitting it. Stim about to complete for Maru. 1-1. Roughly the same between them. About halfway there. A couple scouting Marines, so I think we have a couple of minutes before things heat up here. They're both going to wait, I think, for their respective upgrades. They both went up to 3 Ravens this time. Curious deviation. We've only seen 2 Ravens maximum so far this series. Neither one's lived long enough to really get any more than that. The starports, and they both pulled off of the tech lab, right? Oh yeah, so getting medevacs, getting Vikings. What is the Viking count at? Whopping 0 for everybody. Really? Nobody actually cares to get Vikings at this point. Oh god, Cure, where are you going? No. Maru's moving across. This is why you have the scan wars. Well, the Hellions gonna spot this movement. Yeah, and Cure's gonna get the jump on that medevac, picking off both Cyclones and the medevac. A nice catch, very good pickup to have. Ravens moving forward, interference onto the tanks. All 4 shut down. Cure shutting down Maru's likewise. It's going to be down to the Marines, I think. Decent anti-armor missile goes out, shredding the armor of the Marines. Cure will be in a dominant position. Go home, Maru. Shutting down the tanks means it's just down to the Marines, and Cure has got quite a healthy Marine count right now. 1-1. I didn't quite catch the timing. I'd wager they both completed right around the same time, so nobody really had that advantage in play. But now Cure gonna fly these tanks across. With a higher Marine count, a higher tank count, I cannot fault the logic there. The numbers don't lie, right? Well, Maru's still got a couple set up for the defense, and I don't see the Ravens here. No, all of Cure's Ravens have fallen. Oh, well, so does the command center, I suppose. Not even a cancel able to go out. Marines, the boys pulled. I don't think that's going to be quite healthy for the SCVs. There are 4 tanks on the low ground with no... Oh, I'm sorry, 5. I couldn't even see that one. Well, Cure's going to set up shop on the high ground itself now. Command center will have to be lifted. Need to get that to safety. I don't see any backstabs. Any separate attacks here. Maru's going to have to focus on the defense. Losing this 3rd, not fun at all. Only 4 SCVs were added to the kill count, though. There was a Hellbat lost. Did somebody transform into a Hellbat? Even less advisable to fight siege tanks with Hellbats than Cyclones, I think. Well, Cure says it's go time. Breaking off a few medevacs here, filled to the brim with Marines. The rest of the forces will rotate around. There's no base here, though. No base will be set up. Cure could just set up next to the natural, shell that gas, get the refinery destroyed. Maru gonna quickly try to rotate, but this is gonna present an opportunity now. There's only 1 missile turret flying right into the main base. and then quickly carpet bombing the Marines. Well, Maru does scramble up to the defense. We'll be able to shut this down, I think, but they age old. At what cost? The SCVs falling 10, 11, and counting. They're still getting damage done. 15 SCVs looks like will be the total. And this is still pulling army units out of position. Well, there is a Liberator here. Okay. I'm sorry, he's still getting damage done in the main base? Really? Doesn't look like any more SCVs, but they were still alive. If it works once, why not do it again? I suppose. I can't even be mad. It's working. It's going fine. No need for... Oh, +1 vehicle attack is just about to complete. 12 seconds out. I think this is going to hit right at the same time. The timing on this. I don't know if Cure is planning this, but it's going to work out very well, I think. Dropping the Marines, the tanks, into the main base. Command center lifted. Lift the orbital too. Abandon ship. We don't have any battle cruisers, but I can hear the quote. Things are not looking good for the Blue Terran at this point. Cure is set up strongly. There are no Ravens anywhere to help out here. The Marines are going to try to rush it. Siege tanks set up behind, but it's still not enough. Cure has the army forces left over. Occupying. Cure says, nope, this is not your base anymore. This is now my base and my series. He's going to take it 2-1. Beautiful, explosive series. Though I'll say the longest match we had was 12.5 minutes. That's surprising to me. I expected at least one to go a bit longer. Either way, if you enjoyed, be sure to let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day.